Good morning. You connected with somebody when you're whistling a song and they say, is that Elton John? I was whistling Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting this morning. And Wendy said, is that Elton John? I said, yeah, it is. It's pretty good. Either that or I'm a really good whistler. Anyway, welcome Saturday morning. Let's rock and roll. Get fired up over here. What are you guys doing? I got my cape on today. I'm going to install a countertop again that we messed up last time. So got the cape on, going to go be a hero and scribe that sucker to the wall, cut the sink in. We're going to have good things happen today. I shared with my Peak group last week. A couple weeks back, I was headed over to do this countertop and help out the installer because he had a hard time with it. And it was a tight fit. The sink was a tight fit. I'm just plugging things in, guys. Bear with me. And we damaged the counter. And then I picked the sink up to set it aside and promptly smashed that on the floor. So I said right in front of the homeowner, and I said, so there's a perfect time to end every party, and we just hit it. So we packed it up and got a new sink and ordered a new counter. And fortunately, it's all ready to go. So we're going to go over today on a Saturday and do it. But as I always say, guys, it's not what happens to you. It's how you deal with it, truly. I just sent out a text to everybody on our groups, and I get one text back. I say I'll be live in 5 to 10. I get one text back from Dave Brackett. Is it Summit or Peak? Come on, Brackett. Jesus. All right, I got the coffee. Third one. Fired up over here. This is day 9. Day 9 of a 10-day video series of me just dropping bombs on you guys, right? I decided I would try and do this. If you're on Facebook, leave a comment. How you doing today, 1 to 10? I decided I was going to do a 10-day video series. And then one of the guys in the groups that I joined a group with, I guess, a mentor of mine, Jacob Salem. And Jacob's an expert in Facebook ads. And he also, he's helping me get that going. He's helping me get my stuff rocking and rolling. So I'm grateful. But one of the guys in the group is Johnny Ortiz, and check him out. He's Johnny One, and he goes live every day. And he said, the biggest impact I had on my business last year was going live every day. And you guys know I only had to hear that once. And I'm like, all right, I'll do that. That doesn't cost anything. I will do that. And so much like committing to a year of no alcohol last year, I'll commit to doing this every day. And it's going to move the needle. And what's funny is, I'll do it if there's 0 people watching, but I'll get more every day, and it's kind of fun. So it's fun to watch. So I appreciate the support. I'm going to keep showing up. Hey, if something resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, just swipe on by or maybe share it with somebody you think could use it. If you're, I'm not sharing earth-shattering stuff here, but just kind of bringing it up and talking about it in the vein of maybe helping one person. So I'll try to. I'm trying to do a better job of seeing the comments, and it for some reason it doesn't really work. There they are. Dave Brackett's here. I'm here now. Wow, good job, Brackett. Like you won the day. All right, brother, you won. You won the day. Michelangelo's here. Matt Moore, how you doing, buddy? Matt's in New Hampshire. Wendy is here. My day is a 9 already, even though I just rolled out of bed, Wendy says. Matt says he's an 8. What do we got to do to make that a 10? All right. So post in the chat. How you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10? But today's day 9. And as promised, I said we're going to talk about how to find your edge. You've heard edge from me all year. Edge, peak, summit, all this, mountain vernacular, if you will. And that's kind of what I've built my coaching curriculum around is always going to that next peak and understanding that the peak of one mountain is the summit of one mountain is the bottom of another. There's always another place to go. And especially in the personal development arena, if you will. So we're never done. We're never finished. We can always get better. For those of you guys that don't know me, I'm Bob Turner. And today I'm going to talk about how to find your edge. And it's been a fun last year, actually, because I've kind of had to define that. Like, what do you mean when you say the edge? Here, really what it is to me is a unique combination of strengths, mindset, and focus that sets you apart. It's really like where you go when the proverbial shit hits the fan. All right, where you have to dig, when you're in the corner, when you're fighting your way out, when the chips are down, when you're looking at that checking account balance and you're going, well, shit, how are we going to do this? Or you have a tough conversation lined up with somebody and you're like, well, how am I going to go at this? Your edge is what the bag into which you reach, the quiver from which you pull your arrows to be able to get you through those tough situations. For me, it didn't happen overnight. It was a journey of self-discovery and challenges and intentional growth. And it wasn't until most recently, even the past few years, that I've really started to dial it in. And sadly, for the first bunch of years, just kind of went through life doing what I thought I should be doing, right? It's important to be able to find your edge, all right? Stop comparing yourself to others. It doesn't matter what other people are doing, right? My mother used to say, hey, I would say, well, he did it. She said, well, if he jumped off a bridge, would you? I probably wouldn't, right? The edge is about playing to your strengths and owning your uniqueness. There's a great quote. I don't know who said it, but I can't lay claim to it. It was, find your uniqueness and exploit it in the service of others. All right. So I would challenge you to find your uniqueness. What are you best at? What's your passion? What do you bring to the table that others don't? I wish I could find this on the Instagram too, because sometimes people comment there and it's hard for me to see it. It doesn't even say I'm live. Anyway, I digress. All right. Originally I thought, when I started getting challenged, Ben Newman challenged me, he said, talk about your edge. And for me, I always thought it was about being the most talented or being the smartest or, in a race, being the fastest. But over time, I've realized it's more about resilience and the ability to connect with people deeply. And, when working with Ben and him asking me, what's your burn? It's not necessarily your why, right? But it ignites your why and your purpose. And so I've done a lot of work around that. And mine is, I feel like the example that I am for others. Dave Brackett says, as long as there was water below. Yeah, we figure out the parachute on the way down, right, brother? We never want to stop. But yeah, instead of like trying to fit into a mold, I wanted to try to create the best version of myself. And, if that was by doing more Ironmans, great. If it was by starting a coaching business and seeing how I can help people, great. If it was by offering a 30-minute strategy call to people and not getting paid a nickel for it and just pouring in, super, right? That's when I thrive, when I'm coming from a place of service, right? So your edge isn't about being perfect. It's about being authentically you and using that to create impact. My friend Dave Brackett's on here, and all kidding aside, Dave creates a great deal of impact in his job because he's very good with the elderly. And he has a job where he's in and out of nursing home facilities and hospice care centers. And Dave just has an ability to connect with older people. And I bet if he was on here right now, he would share with you that that's probably his edge, that and just his resilience. So, and I've known Dave longer than I've known any of you on this call, unless my mother's on here. So steps to find your edge. You might be sitting there going, all right, Bob, hey, sounds good. How do I do that? What do you naturally excel at? What do people most often come to you for help with? Ask a few trusted friends or colleagues. What do you see? What do you see that where's my strengths? Right? I often ask them too, where are my blind spots? What do you see that I'm not seeing? What am I tripping over? How about identifying your passions? What lights you up? What gets you fired up? I get fired up to come down here. I flip the lights on, take a look at the backdrop, and I'm like, all right, let's go. Who can I help today? What could you spend hours doing and still feel energized? I can go all day. Yesterday, I looked at my schedule and it was blacked out. Like I had, let me see if I can pull it up real quick here. Yes, actually, a couple of things changed, but I do time blocking. That's the schedule yesterday. It was only a couple of spots in there. That was the day before. Lots going on between contracting and coaching, but I'm going all day long, baby. And I love it because there's a lot to do. Another thing, examine past wins. All right. Look at your biggest achievements. What skills and traits helped you succeed when you were having the most success in your life and when you were the most dialed in? What were the habits and disciplines you were employing at that time? And how about embracing your challenges? Sometimes your edge is forged in adversity. It's not in the peaks where we find our edge, guys. It's down here in the valleys, right? It's forged in adversities. Like, what hardships have shaped your character? What have you been through that give you unique insights? With my coaching, I'm able to work with contractors a lot because, well, hey, I've done contracting for 20 years, been kicked around a bit. I've made all the mistakes. In fact, I've created a few new ones to make. Okay, so I can share that with people. That's one of my unique things. But you don't get your edge without taking action. So once you've identified it, lean into it. Identify with it. It takes steps to develop those strengths and further apply them in a meaningful way. Find your edge. My book is coming out. It shouldn't be long. I would say within the next 30 days. The book is called Finding Your Edge, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. And I look at it as my first book. That's how I look at it. So if you've ever written a book or tried, it's not easy. It's not easy. So yeah, Dave says, do things to help people unconditionally. Danielle is watching. Dave Brackett says, truly caring for others. Dave Zemchek is watching. What a great dude out in central New York. We got it's Dave Day, I guess, on here. So yeah, appreciate you guys being here. I'm here every day, usually around 8 a.m. I'll try to shoot one over your bow before I get on it. I'm not going to commit to a specific time because sometimes I have a coaching call. Other times I've got to get out to deal with something contracting wise. But the goal is my mantra, hashtag whatever, live 365. And what that means is I'm doing this every single day, every single day in 2025. All right. So recap. I don't want to keep you guys too long today. I'm sure you've got the honey-do list to work on. Your edge is the unique combination of your strengths, passions, and mindset. Strengths, passions, and mindset, right? Reflect on your strengths, your passions, past wins, and challenges to uncover that edge. And then use that edge to focus on what makes you authentically you. Don't get caught up in the comparison game. Comparison is the thief of joy, right? We don't care. I don't care what that other guy's doing. I don't care how he made his money or what he's doing. Hey, I see how they treat people. I'm going to be different, right? So call to action. What's one strength or passion you believe is part of your edge? Write it down. What's one strength or passion is part of your edge? Pop in here in the comments. Dave says, looking forward to that. When is the book signing? You'll get one of the first copies, brother. Appreciate it. If I thought you could string a couple of sentences together, I would have sent you down a pre-pressed copy and you could have offered up a testimonial. But I know that wouldn't have been good. Just kidding, my friend. All right, share it in the comments. What is your edge? What do you think it is? It could change. But it's a great time to determine it here at the beginning of 2025. All right. What is your edge? If I can help you with it, let me know. DM me, shoot me a comment. I got a couple of calls today, guys. I've been shooting out this link. You can find it if you need it. DM me a link for a 30-minute strategy call. You don't have to own a business. If you're an entrepreneur, you might be what I call an intrapreneur, someone that works in a company but thinks like an owner. And if you need a strategy call, you need 30 minutes with me, and you think I can help you work through something, let me know. I just did it with a guy named Taylor Payne yesterday. He had a bunch of things he was considering. We got on the phone and I lit him up a little bit. And sometimes it's good to have a different set of eyes on things, someone that doesn't maybe have the emotional attachment that you have to it. All right. So that's what I have for you today. Tomorrow, we're going to wrap up the 10-day series. See what I did there? 10 days in a row, like I said I was going to do. Be consistent. Do what you say you're going to do. We're going to wrap up the series and talk about maintaining momentum for the long haul. maintaining momentum for the long haul. All right. It's not just about talking about a bunch of warm and fuzzy things on a Saturday morning. It's about getting something done, committing to simple acts of discipline and consistency over a long period of time. About staying motivated, staying consistent. I can't breathe motivation into you. I can't teach motivation. You've got to find it. And it starts with finding your edge, finding what you're passionate about, finding what your uniqueness is, and being able to exploit it in the service of others. So don't miss tomorrow. Yes, it's Sunday. Yes, I'll be doing it right around that 8 a.m. hour. So I'll leave you with this. Remember, finding your edge is a journey, but it's one worth taking. When you discover what makes you unique, you unlock your full potential. Let's find your edge together. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being on. I appreciate you all.